Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day today. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Today just want to talk about the legendary mods and which ones are the best ones. I get tons of questions about which ones are the best, which ones to sell, which ones to keep. I assure you by the end of this you will know which ones are best. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into weapon mods first and then we will get into armor. So let's just bring up the good old handmade here. And starting with anti-armor, hands down one of the best mods, especially if you're full health. Even if you're not full health, this is one of the best mods. Easy 10 to 20,000 caps for something like this. Aristocrats, not a bad mod, but we're probably talking like less than 5,000 caps. Maybe, 5 to 10,000 depending, the buyer. But yeah, definitely not on the same level as anti-armor. Assassins, I would say, is probably even less sought out after than aristocrats. Unless you're doing some PvP, I really don't see the point of assassins. Berserkers, another one, probably under 5,000 caps. Bloodied, just like anti-armor, one of the best mods in the game. Easy 10 to 20,000 caps for this. Definitely one of the most sought out after mods for sure. Executioners, very similar to aristocrats. It's probably on the high end of 5,000 for a mod, maybe even closer to 10,000. Probably not on the same level as bloodied and anti-armor. Exterminators, probably 5,000 or less than 5,000. Furious, I would say 5,000 or less as well. It's just not one of the greatest. It's not bad on the Gatling gun. I will throw that out there. If there's a gun to put it on the Gatling gun, it's not too bad. Ghoul Slayers, another one, not really the greatest, I would say, under 5,000. Gormans, this is another one like Aristocrats. It's not too bad, but again, I wouldn't put it on the level of anti-armor or bloodied. Hunters, another one under 5,000 caps. Instigating. Now, this is a tricky one. Like, if you throw this on a plasma caster, or even, even a Gatling gun, instigating is actually pretty decent. I would assume with a bow as well. So, instigating, I would say, maybe not on the same level as anti-armor and bloodied, but I would say between 5 and 10,000 caps for this one. Definitely one of the better mods, I would say. Juggernauts, probably on the same level as Executioners and Aristocrats. Probably 5,000 or less, I would say. Junkies. Now, this used to be a bigger, more popular build, but I don't think a lot of people use Junkies anymore. I want to say this one's probably worth 5 to 10,000 caps, but it's probably less than that if I'm being honest. I just don't think a lot of people are after that playstyle anymore, if I'm being honest. Medics. Now, this is a new one that has recently become a very good legendary effect because of the fact that it can heal NPCs. So, this one I would say is a good 5 to 10,000 caps as well. Not god tier like anti-armor and bloodied. Mutant Slayers, another one, 5,000 or less. Mutants, probably 5,000 or less. Nocturnal, 5,000 or less. Quad. Definitely a god tier legendary mod. Easy 10 to 20,000 caps. Definitely one of the most sought out after mods. Definitely won't be hard to sell, and a lot of people would want that. Definitely one of the best. Stalkers, another one, probably under 5,000. Suppressors, another one, probably 5,000 or under. Troubleshooters, 5,000 or under. Two-shot, this is kind of a tricky one. I know there's some guns out there that this is useful for, but again, I wouldn't put it on the same tier as quad, anti-armor, or bloodied, but maybe between 5 and 10,000 caps to the right buyer, I would think. Vampires, definitely a god tier, in the same category as bloodied, quad, anti-armor, 10 to 20,000 caps easily. Zealots, yeah, another one to 5,000 or less. Okay, so that should cover the first star here. Let's get into the second ones. Okay, Bashers, probably one of the worst mods. Like, we're talking, like, don't even sell this. I don't know why you would buy this. Maybe for a minigun shredder or something like that. So I'm thinking, like, 3,000 or less. Crippling, again, another one, 3,000 or less. Although there is some uses for it, like crippling enemies, obviously, like the Scorch Beast Queen to get it to land. Still, I would say, 5,000 or less. And, I feel like that's pushing it. Explosive. God tier mod. This one's probably 10 to 20,000 caps, at least for the mod. A lot of people will want this. It's on the same level as anti-armor, bloodied quad, all those good ones. Hitman's. This one I feel like could be a little bit better now, considering the V63 kind of pressures you, I would say, almost to aim more. So I feel like this one could be up there, but it's just not on the same levels as explosive would be, or bloodied. I'm gonna say 5 to 10,000 for this one max, like probably closer to 5,000, maybe even less. Inertial. I thought that would say inertia. I could be wrong, but inertial? Sorry if I mispronounced that wrong. This is another one that not a lot of people will be looking for. I'm sure there's some uses for it, but this one's probably 5,000 or under as well. Last shot as well, it's going to be 5,000 or under. Rapid. This is another god tier one, up there with explosive, anti-armor, quad, all those. A lot of people will definitely be after Rapid. VATS enhanced and vital, both god tier mods. Same with rapid, same with explosive. 10 to 20,000 caps, I would say, at least. 10 if you want to get rid of it fast, closer to 20 if you may want to be waiting a little bit for that, just to get a ballpark figure. Like myself, I'm looking for the explosive ones right now. It's one of the few ones that I don't have left. I would pay 15 to 20. If I saw it for 20,000 caps and I got 21,000 caps, I'm probably going to take it, to be honest. These prices will definitely go down as more people learn more mods and we're just getting more box mods out there. And yeah, I'm sure they will go down a little bit in price. But for now, definitely 10 to 20,000 caps for these God Roll ones. Let's get into the third star here for weapons. Agility. I'm going to say 5,000 or less. Like I said, I'm sure there's some uses for it. Charisma, probably 3,000 or less. Durability, this is a good one for even the railway rifle or even the auto axe, I would say. Weapons that break very fast. This is definitely a good one. Wouldn't say it's god tier, but probably closer to maybe the 10,000 mark for a mod, I would say. Endurance, maybe on the higher side, closer to 5,000, not a god tier one. Ghosts, 5,000, even 3,000 or less. Intelligence, this is another good one because people will want to put this on their unyielding armor so they can get more XP if they're running West Tech per se. So I would say this one is easily 5 to 10,000 caps, not god tier like anti-armor or quad or any one of those are explosive, but still a very good one. Lightweight can be another good one for heavy guns. Like the Gatling gun, you don't really need to reload it fast, and you don't need the durability on it. So lightweight's a great one for that, but I would say probably closer to 5,000 caps for this one, but between 5 and 10. So I hope these prices aren't confusing. I'm just trying to give you guys an overall ballpark figure of which ones are the best, of course, right? And yeah, the God ones, hands down, I will stick to my word here, 10 to 20,000 caps at least. Okay, luck, another one, probably 3,000 or, between that mark. Not a very sought out after one. 15 plus 15 bonus VATS critical charge. This is definitely a more popular one. Wouldn't say it's god tier, but definitely 5 to 10,000 caps. Maybe 10 to 15,000 caps, I would say. It's so close to a god roll, this one. Or a god mod, whatever you want to call them at this point. This one's very close, but I still wouldn't put it up there with bloodied and explosive. Nimble, another one, 5,000 or less. Perception, 5,000 or less. Resilient, probably 5,000 or less. Steadfast, 5,000 or less. And a lot of these, I know I'm saying 5,000 or less. 5,000 is being generous. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying, go out and sell Steadfast for 5,000. It's probably closer to 1 to 3. But, 5,000 or less. Because, you never know what people would want these for. Strength is another decent one. I would say it's similar to intelligence because you wouldn't put it on your armor, per se, but you would probably want this on, like, say, an auto axe, so you could do extra damage, because the more strength you have, the more melee damage you'll do. So this is another one up there, I would say, you know, at least 10,000 caps, I want to say, for strength. Definitely up there. Not one of the best ones, though. Swift, weapon speed, or sorry, reload speed, definitely a god tier mod. 10 to 20,000 caps easily for this one. The same with VATS optimized. Definitely 10 to 20,000 caps for this one. People will definitely want it. And that concludes weapons. Let's get on to armor now. Okay, let's get into this here. Okay, aristocrats. Yeah, not a bad one. Wouldn't say it's god tier. Oops, sorry about that. I hit my mic there. Wouldn't say it's god tier, but it's definitely up there, this one. Like, I would say 10,000 caps at least for this. Maybe 7,500 at least. Somewhere around there, I would say, for this one. Assassins, you know, maybe if you're doing PvP, like, I don't know what use you would have for this anymore. I would say 5,000 or less. Auto stim, probably 5,000 or less. Bolstering, like, I feel like this isn't a bad one, but Overeaters is just so much better, to be honest. So, I would say between 5 and 10,000 caps, but probably closer to 5,000 caps. Not, you know, a god mod. Chameleon. Now, this is like a special, like, niche of players that play this way. This is definitely a god mod for those type of players, but I still wouldn't put it up there with, like, Overeaters or Unyielding, if I'm being honest, but definitely closer to 10,000 caps. But you may be waiting a bit because not everybody plays like this, but if they do, I'm telling you, there's a good chance they'll buy this mod. Cloaking, another one, probably 5,000 or less. Exterminators, probably 5,000 or less. Ghoul Slayers, Hunters, Life-Saving, Mutant Slayers, Mutants, like, isn't too bad. There's not too many great, you know, 1-star armor effects, if I'm being honest. It's pretty much Unyielding, Overeaters, and Chameleon, if I'm being honest. Like, Aristocrats isn't bad. I know people use that. I have a feeling people, like, may have a use for Auto Stim, but, like, we got Born Survivor. Like, yeah, Mutants, Nocturnal, all 5,000 or less. Overeaters is definitely a god mod. 10 to 20,000 caps, like I was saying. It's definitely on par with Unyielding. Regenerating, Troubleshooters, same thing. Probably 5,000 or less. And even Vanguards, I would say it's, like, on the same level as, like, maybe a little bit better than Bolstering, or a little bit more, worth more than Bolstering, and probably on par with Aristocrats from what I get from comments and what people are using anyway. Probably not a god mod. And Weightless is probably, you know, like, if you run around in a power armor and you're not in armor all the time, but you still want to have Secret Service armor on when you get out of it, this would be a great, you know, one for you to take advantage of, so you're not carrying around a bunch of extra armor with extra weight for no reason, right? But yeah, definitely the two winners for armor 1-stars is Overeaters and Unyielding. Like, nothing comes close to those two, in my opinion. Those two are the best. 2nd stars, let's get into this here. Agility, again, probably 5,000 or less. We have tons of ways to get agility. Antiseptic, another one, probably 5,000 or less. Charisma, charisma's 5,000 or less. Endurance, this one people could be going for because it does give you a little bit more health. So I'm going to say possibly over 5,000 caps somewhere. Fireproof, I feel like, is underrated. I don't know if I would call it a god roll, but honestly, 2 of these on your Secret Service armor will save you from flamers, Molotovs, like, just stuff that will burn you over time you're not paying attention to when you're low health. Trust me, don't sleep on Fireproof. I would say this one's worth at least 10,000 caps. I would pay more than that for it myself, but that is just me. Glutton, Hunger, Thirst Grow 10% slower, like 5,000 or less. Receive 7% less explosive damage. Now, this one isn't very good in my opinion either, because you can put the dense mod on the chest, and then you have, like, I think that's 50% explosive damage, so, or resistance. So it outweighs this in my opinion, and I've been using it for a while, and it's more than enough. I feel like Hardy just is pointless, to be honest. Radiation resistance. This is definitely a good one. Don't know if I would say it's like a god mod, but for maybe a 2-star, it's probably up there. Not a bad one. Especially if you're not using Secret Service armor, if you're using a different type of armor. Intelligence, again, it's another good one for your armor. If you're going to be ranking up at West Tech, it just gives you more XP for ranking up. So now that I think about it, going back to when I was talking about the intelligence mod with the armor, that's a completely different mod. That's like, I did a video on it, and there's like no way to get it right now. So just disregard everything I said about the intelligence mod for the weapons earlier on in the video. I was thinking it was this mod right here, which you put on armor, which people definitely want, because that's 10 extra intelligence now for your set of unyielding when you're running West Tech or whatever, right? Definitely, I would say it's a god mod, probably 10 to 20,000 caps. Luck, another one, probably 5,000 or less. Perception, poison resistance. This is another great one. I feel like people don't sleep on this one. I think a lot of people know how good this one can be. It'll save you at Moonshine Jamboree, or if a Mirelurk Queen is shooting the poison stuff at you. Definitely a great mod. I would even almost say it's a god mod. Probably 10,000 caps at least for this one. Powered. Definitely a god mod. It's probably not as sought out after, since Company T is so easy to get now. But if you're full health or a carnivore, this is definitely still a god mod in my opinion. 10 to 20,000 caps for this one, no problem. Strength. Another one, I want to say it's up there with intelligence as well, just because of all the extra carry weight you can get with that now. Definitely 5 to 10,000 caps for this one. Wouldn't put it on the same tier as, let's say, Powered. Powered's probably the best out of all the second ones, depending how you play. Like, I would say Fireproof is, but I feel like Powered is still one of the most sought out after ones. Poisoners, Strength we were just talking about. Warming, I would say 5,000 or 5,000 or less. We really just don't need cryo resistance. Like, you just deal with it when it comes up, and it's not too often in my opinion. So the best ones I would say out of this are definitely Strength, Powered, Poisoners, Intelligence, and I would even throw Fireproof in there. Let's get on to the 3rd stars here. Okay, Acrobats. Now, I have tested this, and I feel like it doesn't work very great, so I'm going to say 5,000 or less for Acrobats. I feel like not a lot of people will be using that. The same thing with Adamantium. I probably said that wrong. Receive 15% less limb damage. Most people just aren't going to use this. You just take a stim pack if you break a limb or whatever. Arms Keeper. Definitely a god mod. I'm still trying to get this one myself. I would pay whatever you have for it. If it's 40, if it's 39,999 caps, I would pay for it if I had it. But it's because I don't have it right now. But this is probably the best, or one of the best 3-star mods for armor. Weapon weights reduced. And it just helps you carry so much, and it keeps your weight low for so much longer. I can't tell you how good this is, and I highly recommend you put it on your armor if you're not using it already. Belt it. Ammo weight's reduced by 20%. Not bad, but out of all the weapon reduced ones, I would say Arms Keeper is the best. If you want to let us know in the comments which one you think is the best, if you use 5 of these, and then, or maybe 4 of them, and then you throw a chems one in there, I'd love to hear the combinations of these, everybody. I plan on doing 4 weapon weights reduced, and then maybe like a chem reduced for my armor, just for reference. On here to the ammo weight one. So I would say, 5 to 10,000 caps for ammo weights reduced. Burning, yeah, another one, 5,000 caps or less. The same thing with this one. Okay, yeah. 75% chance to reduce damage while sprinting. You're just not going to use this. People just don't really need it. 15% damage taken while blocking. Nobody's really going to be using this. Radiation damage recovery. You would have to get me to pay me to get this off of you. That's how bad this one is. I think most of us low health people absolutely hate this one. But yeah, maybe there's some full health people out there that have use for this. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say 5,000 caps or less. Breathe underwater, 5,000 caps or less. Stim packs is like the same thing as Belted, I think it was. This one I would even say is a little bit better than Belted, because Bandolier is just easier to throw on, I feel, for some reason. You know, 5 to 10,000 caps at most. Durability. This one is like close to a god mod. Now, it would be great, again, for the auto axe, or no, sorry, we're talking about armor. So yes, sorry, I'm confused here. It's hard to tell which one you're putting on what sometimes. I'm still getting the system myself. But yes, break slower for armor. You know, there's perks you can throw on to make, and not to mention there's perks you can throw on to double the health of your armor. There's perks you can throw on to stop your armor from degrading. I just feel like it's not necessary with most armor. So, gonna say 5,000 caps, but definitely closer to 5,000 and not, you know, 1,000. Electrified, again, probably 5,000 caps or less. Frozen, 5,000 caps or less. Junk item weights, again, 5 to 10,000 caps for this one. It's on the same page as the chems and the ammo one, in my opinion. Safe crackers, like, I don't think anybody's gonna be using this. 5,000 caps or less. Like, if you got 5,000 caps for that, like, man, that's you made a deal that day. 25% reduced detection chance, 25% less noise while sneaking. I feel like this isn't too bad of one, depending for your build. So I'm going to say at least 5,000 caps for secret agents, but definitely not a god mod. Sentinels, again, probably, you know, 5,000 or less. Through hikers, again, on the same page as, what was it called there? Belted. Probably 5 to 10,000 caps at best. Toxic, another one, 5,000 or less. So the winners out of these are definitely, I would say, Arms Keepers, even Belted. Basically, the weight reduction perks is what you want for this one, in my opinion. Not the break slower. Sorry, I was confused about that one. You pretty much want to go for the weight reduction perks on this one. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope this video helped you get a better understanding of the legendary box mods. I'm sure they're very confusing if you're new to the game, and I assure you this price guide will definitely help you sell them or even know which ones to keep. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day.